Presentation on the top 5 ways to share assessment results and why these methods are the best by Uribe. For people unfamiliar with higher education assessment, they wonder, what is it exactly? Assessment in higher education is a process that involves the collection of data on various areas of higher education. This data tells a story of what is occurring within the institution, and the story is told through evaluation and analysis. Assessment provides a context for institutions to refine and improve their programs. Higher education assessment is important because ultimately higher education needs accountability, not just to students in measuring learning outcomes, but to parents who are looking for institutions that meet their needs, the federal and state legislatures that allocate dollars towards higher education, to taxpayers and the general public who are weighing the value of higher education in our society. Higher education needs improvement because nothing is perfect. Assessment allows us to engage in reflection of where we are, where we need to go, and what we are doing to get there. Assessment allows us to address issues such as low graduation rates, retention, and learning outcomes so that we can improve and better serve the needs of our students. The assessment process is best understood through this logic model. In assessment, we identify the outcomes we are trying to attain, we find our methods to achieve these outcomes, we collect data, we study, analyze, and interpret that data, and then we use that data to support our causes for change and improvement. So back to the title of this presentation. How do we communicate the data in analysis? What are our choices? When communicating assessment results, we need to consider the following. We have many choices, and before we choose, we must consider who is on the receiving end, if our information is complete, objective, and clear, what our timing and our timelines are, what should be included, how should we organize our data, how to address the shortcomings of our assessments, how do we help the audience make sense of it, and finally, what format should it be in? The top 5 ways to communicate assessment results are written reports, presentations, posters, flyers, and infographics, websites and dashboards, and through social media. Executive summaries are 1 to 2 page reports that highlight the assessment method, important findings, conclusions, and recommendations. This type of report might be preferred by upper-level administrators who might not have the time to read long and detailed reports. Briefs, or short reports, are 4 to 5 page reports that can be tailored to different audiences. For instance, according to Henning and Roberts, you can include all of the results from an assessment, but focus on a particular area of data. The textbook provides an example with a campus climate assessment that addresses gender, religion, race, ethnicity, and disability, but could be delivered as 4 different reports accompanying one overall report. An audience that would utilize this type of report would be university staff members that work in admissions or new student orientation. Long or summary reports are exactly what they are named, long reports. They can be written to cover all the questions detailed in an assessment and are an excellent source of documentation. The audience member reading this type of report depends on their interests in the report. Reports like these usually give a complete picture of the assessment, the theory behind it, the literature that supports it, and its results. Annual reports are a popular way for departments, divisions, and units to communicate assessment results, as well as share strategic plans and accomplishments. Because these are done annually, they give transparency to the organizations that utilize them. A presentation is a great method to communicate assessment results. They combine the key parts of written reports with effective visuals, such as tables, graphs, and charts. They are easier to understand than relying completely on a written narrative and they allow you to incorporate other types of media that leave an impact on your audience, and they also allow you to connect immediately to them. Your audience can vary, and just like written reports, you can tailor your presentation for executive board members, faculty, or staff. Presentations are also more interactive because there is an opportunity for the assessor and the audience to interact, ask questions, and provide feedback and insights. Posters, flyers, and infographics are also valuable tools to communicate assessment results because they are highly shareable, they are easily accessible, meaning that you don't necessarily have to be an avid reader to engage with the information on a poster, flyer, or infographic. Today, many people are accustomed to visual elements and have the visual literacy to match it. They expect content to include visuals and are less likely to engage with content that lack visuals. These tools help you to communicate and highlight your results and even the actions taken for improvement, and they help your audience to visualize your assessment and make sense of it. With the proliferation of technology, websites and dashboards are popular ways to communicate assessment results. They are timely, they allow transparency, and they can be used as a marketing tool. You can measure the reach of your assessment with tracking, and your audience is able to visualize interactive data. Most often, websites and dashboards are straightforward, visually appealing, and customizable on both ends by the administrator and the audience. Social media is a fairly new and recent method of communicating assessment results, but there are many possibilities with social media. For instance, you can attract new audiences that increase your reach that you might not otherwise reach with other methods. You can incorporate visualization and infographics in your social media posts. It is more engaging, and it communicates a clear message or allows you to drop a breadcrumb for your audience to follow to find more information. The takeaway from this presentation is that among these different methods of communicating assessment results, there is no top or best way to share results. Your ability to communicate and reach your audience depends on the audience, their preferred method of absorbing information, and the information you are trying to communicate. No matter what you choose, just do it, as it creates a dialogue that affects change within institutions. The resources used for this presentation came from Student Affairs Assessment, Theory to Practice, Assessment and Student Affairs, A Guide for Practitioners, Handbook of Practical Evaluation, Assessing Student Learning, A Common Sense Guide.